Is your Boston Terrier displaying reactive or aggressive type behaviours? Well, don't worry, because that is exactly what we're going to help you with in today's video. Welcome back to the Fenrir Boston Terrier Show. If you are new here, my name's Will. I'm a canine behaviourist and I'm the founder and CEO here at FenrirCanineLeaders.com. This channel is dedicated to helping you become a high-level canine leader that can raise perfect Boston Terrier companions, whilst also educating you about everything you could ever want to know about the incredible Boston Terrier. So if you are new here and you love these little guys as much as we do, start by hitting that subscribe button, turning on the notification bell, and you'll never miss a future Boston Terrier video. But we're going to dive straight into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about aggressive and reactive type behaviours with your Boston Terrier dog at home. Now, as a canine behaviourist, I specialise in reactivity and aggression with usually large, powerful guarding breeds. But as my channels, especially over on the Fenrir Canine Show or Fenrir Canine Training, have started to grow, I've had a huge plethora of people from all around the world reach out to me with these severe, aggressive and reactive type behaviours with all kinds of breeds, including the Boston Terrier. And today I want to teach you and talk you through the process that we utilise to be able to have high levels of success with these kinds of cases. Now, the reason here at Fenrir we're able to have this level of success is because we put such an emphasis on fixing the problem at the root cause and addressing the issues at the root cause, as well as being able to offer extremely effective management strategies while we're going through the process of fixing that root cause issue. Now, a lot of people come to me through going to a lot of local trainers, usually positive only trainers, and with reaction or aggressive cases in particular, they have a very slim, if no effective work whatsoever is able to be achieved. They've spent thousands and they're at a stage of having to give their dog up to a shelter or unfortunately be euthanized, and the two things are usually the same. By giving an aggressive or reactive case up to a shelter, most likely will lead to that dog being put down. So people will come to me as a last-ditch effort, and we're able to have high levels of success at that stage. Now, I'm going to go through the process of how we do that for both sides, the root cause and the management strategy, in today's video. And we'll start with the root cause. Now, we developed what we call our boot camp program when we were working with our clients. And since the growth of those channels, we turned that into an online program to be able to help people all around the world be able to follow that program themselves at home. And if you are interested, there'll be a link down in the description box below for that. But the reason we designed that program was because the root cause of 99.9% of these cases comes from a place of fear and anxiety within the dog. And that fear and anxiety stems from them not having a calm, consistent leader in their life that they feel they can look to for guidance and direction. As dogs thrive on leadership and being able to follow direction from a calm, consistent leader. When that isn't there, the dog is forced to feel like it has to make decisions for itself. And in our society and culture, which is completely foreign to a dog, by the way, they will often make the wrong decision, which then leads to these negative, aggressive or reactive type behaviors that we're seeing. So what we want to do is hit that at the root cause, and we utilize our boot camp to be able to achieve that. As the main emphasis on that is being able to teach you how to become a high level canine leader yourself. We don't want to do it for you, as that's no use to anyone. I could come in and fix the problem myself, no problem. That's easy for us. But when you then take that dog home, that relationship hasn't been built between yourself and the dog, and therefore you're just going to see more of the same problems. The emphasis is always on you as the calm, consistent leader, and the boot camp helps teach you the principles and theories required to be a high-level canine leader yourself. Then we go through a 4-week process of being able to put in place excellent boundaries, rules, and expectations with the dog to be able to allow that transition to happen, of the dog relinquishing control of those decisions and accepting that you are its calm, consistent leader that it must look up to for guidance and direction in all scenarios and all situations. When we achieve that, that is the root of the fix of everything we do with our dogs. Getting that relationship right, you becoming a high-level canine leader, is the fix for 99, I'd say 100% of problems. Yes, we are going to utilize some management strategies alongside that, and they are required, but that is the essence of what we're trying to achieve here at Fenrir. That allows you to help your dog, and that dog then not end up in a shelter or unfortunately euthanized. Now, as part of that process, there's also lots of time for obedience work. Obedience is important. Relationship is more important, in my opinion. But obedience is a factor and a part of having a well-behaved, well-mannered dog. And most importantly, that comes down to that communication of what we do want from our dog. And that is where a positive-based approach is fantastic. Positive reinforcement is excellent at teaching our dog something new. So as part of that process, if you haven't got a dog that walks nicely to heel, for reactive and aggressive type cases, especially those cases that revolve around when you go for a walk, they're incredibly reactive. We're going to address that by teaching our dogs nicely to walk to heel, utilizing a positive-based approach. All fantastic news so far. Then, whilst you're going through that process, we're also going to help give you some management strategies to be able to stop those things from happening when they do happen. Now, where so many people are going wrong right now is that they're not taking a balanced approach to their training. They follow a positive-only program, and like I say, positive reinforcement is fantastic. It's brilliant at teaching our dog what we do want from them. And I always preach the importance of, if you're thinking about getting a new dog, you're just about to get a new Boston Terrier, then do it right the first time round. And that's why we created our Perfect Puppy program, which is a very, very positive based program that requires no corrections, because it's about setting your dog up for success, which then allows you to live in a positive based realm. And positive only and positive reinforcement allows us to teach our dog what we do want. What it's very bad at is communicating what we don't want from our dogs. Now, when I work with cases, and like I say, my bread and butter is around reactive aggressive cases that multiple positive only trainers have refused to work with because that methodology simply doesn't work well with these cases. I have a ethos of, if a dog is posing a physical harm to itself, potential physical harm to another dog or another person, or is posing physical damage to property and possessions, then absolutely I feel comfortable in utilizing physical corrections to be able to stop those things from happening. It comes from a place of love. It becomes from a place of how much I care about dogs, and I don't want to see them ending up in shelters or being put down. And I want to see them live happy, healthy, content lives. Now, when we're talking about reaction and aggressive cases, or reactivity and aggressive cases, should I say, we have pretty much every single time a dog that is causing harm to itself and a dog that would cause harm to somebody else or something else. So absolutely, in those situations, I think it's more than acceptable to utilize corrections to be able to help overcome those problems. And the management strategy that I utilize is one that we call correct, redirect, and reinforce. We start by correcting those behaviors. The reason we've taught a nice heel walk is we now have a dog that is walking on a loose lead on our side. Fantastic. What we don't have is a dog that's out in front of us, pulling and already making decisions for itself. Then we're in a tug of war game and we've lost control already. When we have a dog that's walking nicely by our side, we're winning, we're in charge, we're in control, and it gives us the ability to maintain control before things turn into disasters. So when that trigger or that environmental stimuli or whatever it is that's causing this reactivity or aggression start to occur, and we're able to observe that within our dog, that behavior is just spilling up and it's about to come out, at that stage we instantly shut it down, and we shut it down with a correction. Ideally, we use as little correction as possible. Starting with a verbal correction is sometimes more than enough, especially with more sensitive, gentle dogs or breeds. Usually not isn't achieved with Boston Terriers because they can be quite stubborn, independent, confident little characters, and a verbal correction isn't enough to be able to snap them out of whatever they're doing to bring their attention and focus back to us. So we might need to utilize a physical correction. Ideally, we might use a slip lead. If that's not enough, we might move on to a tool like a prong collar. Whatever it takes to achieve the goal of saving this dog's life, we will utilize if that is appropriate. And we'll use, as that behavior is coming up, ideally verbal, vocal inflection to be able to verbally correct them. If that doesn't work, then we will use a physical correction. We're not trying to hurt the dog. We're not trying to rip their head off. We're not trying to maim them. We're putting in a physical correction as little as required to simply snap them out of it and very clearly communicate, you need to stop doing what you're doing. I am in control of the situation. I am the leader in this scenario. You must look back to me for guidance and direction because I'm about to tell you what it is that I want from you. That is the essence of what we're trying to achieve by that correction. So we use as little as possible to achieve that response of being able to snap them out of it, bring their attention back up to us. We're then going to move on to the redirection, where we're going to redirect them into the heel that we've been working on as part of the obedience program of the boot camp. When we bring them back into that position, we can then go back into reinforce, and that's where we can give food rewards, that's where we can praise them, that's where we can use physical praise, verbal praise, and let them know, yes, thank you, I do like what you're doing there. But we can't praise a dog for what we want them to do if we can't equally, in a balanced approach, let them know what we don't want from them. It causes confusion, it creates more anxiety, and it's a quick way to break down your relationship. Utilizing this methodology allows us to clearly communicate, I don't want you to do that. We have worked on enough obedience for me to tell you what I do want you to do. And when you do that, thank you very much. I'm going to praise you, reinforce you, and let you know that that's superb and excellent. As you go through that process, you'll find that the behavior, the undesirable behavior will become less and less frequent. The desired behavior will become more and more frequent. And we'll get to a point where we'll be using less and less corrections to the point where the dog will display those desired behaviors first time round anyway, which at that stage allows us to live back in positive reinforcement and positive only. But we can't do that if we don't equally have the flip side, the yin and yang, the black and white, the 1 and 0, to be able to let them know, yes, I do want you to do this. And ideally, we're going to get to a point where that's where we live, but we can't do that if we don't also have the ability to say, no, I don't want you to do that. It's the same with raising children. Dogs can't communicate like we can communicate with children verbally. They don't understand what we're saying. So we have to find a way of being able to clearly communicate no just as much as yes. And a correction-based approach is the quickest, efficient, most humane way of achieving that, so that we can have a dog, your Boston Terrier, live a happy, content, healthy life where it sees you as its calm, consistent leader that is able to make decisions, and it can relax and just go, yep, no matter what happens, I trust my leader, I can look up to them for guidance and direction, and they're in control. That is the essence of having a truly wonderful, happy dog, and that's what all dog owners should be striving for. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, hit that like button. Remember, we've got new Boston Terrier videos coming to this channel every single week, so if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe so that I can see you on the next episode of the Boston Terrier Show.